My name's Ade Adepitan. I am a Paralympic wheelchair basketball player, also tennis player. I do a little bit of acting, presenting, probably come round and fix your lights for you, and I'm a West Ham supporter. Well, my first love when I was a kid was football, and as I said, I used to walk on calipers and used to play football in goal with all my mates at school. Wasn't bad in goal, used to throw myself from right to left and save goals, but couldn't jump very high, and when my mates realised that, they started chipping the ball over my head, and that kind of ended my my dreams to play for England. That happened quite a few years ago, and basically I was spotted by some physiotherapists as I was being raced through the streets by my mates in a Tesco shopping trolley. And the reason I was being raced through the streets in a shopping trolley is because I used to walk on calipers, and I couldn't really keep up with my friends, and I thought when we got up to mischief, that was the best way to get around. And these physios, they had a local wheelchair basketball team in Newham called the Newham Rollers, and they wanted me to play for that team. And they spotted me just by sheer luck as I was being raced through the streets by my mates. They'd heard about me, read about me in the papers, because I tried to do a sponsored walk from my school, and I was one of the few disabled kids in that area. And they asked me if I'd like to play. Initially I wasn't up for it, but then when I saw some of the guys from the Great Britain wheelchair basketball team, I was totally blown away by their skills, and that was it. Life is all about challenges. I'll tell you, you'll work that out sooner or later. But I suppose first challenge was getting into the national team. As I said, from when I was about 11 years old, I wanted to be a Paralympian. I wanted to compete in the Paralympics, and so I went off and trained really hard to try and get that team, did everything I felt necessary. And the dream started at 11, and I finally made it into the Paralympic team when I was 26. So do the math. I did all those years of like training, and it was a long time. I was at 15 years, you know, trying to get into the team, and being told I wasn't good enough. And also another big challenge for me was in a documentary which I did called Beyond Boundaries a few years ago for the BBC, 5 years ago to be exact, where we had to cross from one side of Nicaragua to another, from Central America, the Atlantic side to the Pacific side, and we had to climb a 5,000-foot volcano. Yeah, exactly, which was, it was really, really hard, and anyone who's seen that documentary would know that it was a massive challenge, which I finally managed to do.
I mean, a person, for me anyway, a person like you has just shown me that, you know, if you want to play a certain sport, you know, you can achieve it. And I know it's getting near 2012 now, but, you know, it's just really great to be interviewing someone like yourself who's been through all this, and, you know, give advice to other people and see what it takes. Anyway, on with the questions. So, I don't want to get carried away.
That's good. No, it's good. Do you know what? You know, one of the things to say, for me, something that I learned in my career is that, you know, no matter what happens, as long as you believe in yourself, and as long as you're passionate and you really love what you're doing, and it doesn't have to be sport. It could be journalism. You know, it could be you want to learn another language. It could be you want to travel the world. It could be you want Millwall to win the championship or anything like that. But whatever it is you want, whatever it is you want, if you really believe it and you're passionate about it, you can achieve it. And it took me, as I said, like, now I'm 15 years to achieve my dream, and I mean, that I'd say to anybody out there, if you've got a dream, really want to do it, just go for it. Don't let anybody tell you any different.
Such inspiring words.
First of all, whatever you do, try to be the best that you can be. Not the best that someone else can be, the best that you can be, so you leave no stone unturned. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are all part and parcel of life. It's not about making mistakes, it's about not making the same mistake twice. And then finally, whatever you do, make sure you enjoy it and have a passion about it, because that's what it's all about, being passionate about something.